All right, viewers, followers, friends, family, whoever's out there in La La Land, welcome. Today's Skyway Bound presents the Milieux Project. I'm your host, Walter Matthews, and we're just going to jump right into it. We have Jenn Aupke. She is the founder. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Cool. She's the founder of the Malou Project. She is you're not retired, but you are a reservist U.S. Air Force aviator. And I'll just let you go more into kind of who you are and what your background is.
You got it. Thanks, Walt, for having me. And let me just help you out a little bit. I'm in the Air National Guard. I separated from the Air Force at 18 years and 1 month to become a drill status guardsman. Currently on active duty orders. This is all learning process for me, so that I can pursue this new passion of mine. And co-founder, I'm going to correct you on that, co-founder of Milieux Project with my friend Carrie Worth.
Very cool. Now, where did you and Carrie meet?
At my final operational assignment at Moody Air Force Base. She had just finished her squadron command, and I was the director of operations, so the number 2 of the squadron, which she had just relinquished command of. So she remained on as IG there, waiting to see if she'd make 06 and what the Air Force had for her after she made 06. And we just developed a friendship. She's a C-130 pilot, HC at the time, but she's flown all kinds of aircraft, SOCOM, Special Forces, done super secret missions I'm not allowed to know about or talk about. And I'm an HH-60 helicopter pilot. We were both doing the rescue mission there at Moody Air Force Base, and just developed a friendship because of our commonalities and backgrounds and the way we think. And, it's just easy, right? When you're both passionate about something.
Absolutely. So that's one of the things I'm really excited about. So for our viewers and followers, just so you know, me and Jenn, we met at it was a government contracting conference or something. I'm on the side. I'm trying to do some work to help a friend out with his IT managed services company. But I was actually going to leave, but I happened to sit at a table and talking about serendipity in entrepreneurial land. It was a great accident that I met you guys, and I'm very happy I did. What really excited me about your story is the squadron commander background. Now that I know Carrie's got that squadron, that makes me she's also a former squadron commander. That makes me doubly excited. Just the impact that you guys, having somebody like you guys with that kind of background, take on this social entrepreneurial journey is very exciting. So, how did this come to fruition? What was going through your minds when you guys decided to form this organization?
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say that we are the ones that scored big by the fact that you sat down next to us. It was totally serendipitous, but it was fantastic, and we're so grateful for the just the mentorship and encouragement you've given us. So kudos to you for that. So Carrie and I spent some time together on our free time, just talking and sharing stories. She was someone I'd never known my whole career. I was at 17 years. She was at 19 years. And we started realizing that there were a lot of similarities in our stories, things that we'd both experienced specifically as women that we had never had a mentor for before, that we kind of navigated on our own. And we both kind of came to the same conclusion after sharing some of our stories and realizing the similarities that we really should do more mentoring for women. There's a stigma, and maybe it's just self-perceived that, when you're in the token group, right, the smaller minority, that you shouldn't gather because people will think that you're plotting something. And so we generally grew up in that throughout the Air Force, thinking that we should not gather together. Well, she and I just kind of decided collectively, like, we're going to say whatever to that. And we're going to start hosting women at our house, like people that we want to have a positive impact on, and to share those stories and those things, and to give them something to kind of talk about. And I just kind of share it, it started there, grassroots, like just us deciding we're going to have these girls together that worked on the base and could really benefit probably from hearing things that we've gone through and they don't have to go through again. right? So it started with that, and then we started blogging because we're like, well, we can only reach this locality, but there's a much greater need
Right.
an alternate voice in this, what I call very feminist narrative, some kind of alternate to show, like, look, there's one, you can kill it as a woman. It doesn't matter your gender. You just show up, and that's how you make things happen. It doesn't really matter what you look like. But, so we started blogging, and that blog became really popular with people. We were kind of surprised that a lot of friends and colleagues started reading what we were writing, which, something, a little humbling. Makes you really pay attention to what you put out there. But they also started offering like these opportunities. Several people offered that we come to air shows and have a table, that they just wanted our presence there. They really liked our narrative. They wanted us to talk to their daughters. They shared the website with their daughters, that they wanted to take us to meet certain people and get in front of these, XYZ. It was just really amazing that there was this need that we kind of identified. So from that blog, that's when we decided, well, let's see what we can do for encouraging girls individually to fly and how to make that happen, because we didn't have that when we were growing up. I mean, she had her dad who took her to EAA air shows, but it was just circumstantial that she applied to the Air Force Academy. It wasn't like this lifelong dream. It wasn't a lifelong dream for me either to go to the Air Force Academy, but we ended up there. And how do we get that bug in someone sooner than 16 or 17 years old? So we started these scholarships.
Oh, wow.
For colleagues of ours started what they call a Preflight Aviation camp, and it's a week-long camp for girls, and it's all girls. It's about between 10 and 15, and they're growing so big, but they hold it in San Marcos, Texas, and it's just a way for girls to have like the sorority, right, and to learn about some aviation. They target the ages between 7 and 12, and we started having scholarships for these girls because we wanted to have that human kind of link to them. And then we started thinking, as we talked more and more about it, all of our people kept asking us, like, where's a pre-flight aviation camp near us? Where can we have a camp? Where can we have a camp? We can't send them in Texas. We can't do this. And so that's when we decided to start our own camps. And that was a lot of talking to say that that's where we are now.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, in the world of entrepreneurship, there's statistics out there that talk about the high rate of failure of startups. And just listening to your story about how you kind of fell into finding a demand, that's a big part of the battle, and it is one of the reasons that you guys are going to go on to be successful and continue to scale as you do this. So as you guys have been going through this journey, one of the things we want to do with our audience is really help them see like the challenges that you guys have been going through. I know you guys are early stage at this point, but there are a lot of challenges up to this point that you guys have gone through that we'd love for you to share with people.
Sure. The very first one right out the gate that I would give great advice to is deciding what state to register your business in. It matters. The state matters. We started out in Nevada thinking that Nevada was going to be the right place for our business, because we both have home. Well, I have a home in Nevada. She had a home in California. We thought that would be where we would settle, but it's expensive. It's expensive to have a business in Nevada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like $400 to $500 a year just to have a business, much less any of the other paperwork. So, that's when we started looking at Florida, and Florida is a very business-friendly state. I think it's growing in that regard as well. So, yeah, I knew that I was moving. I knew that I was going to get out and get into the Guard, something that I've wanted to do for a long time. But this really pushed me over because I saw a lot of conflict of interest between what I was doing and the active duty Air Force. I didn't want to blur those lines too much. So I separated and came to the Air National Guard so that I could continue to pursue this passion. And Florida just turned out to be the right place. But that was after 2 or 3 years of paying very expensive registration fees in Nevada.
But you did it. You know, one of the things I've been really embracing is trying to make non-expensive mistakes, but do make mistakes. You know, that's a common story that I hear from entrepreneurs, is that they did what you did. They just did it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you do that on money, you learn pretty quick. you learn really quick where you're going to spend it. So aside from those, are there any other challenges that people should consider as they continue and want to do something maybe similar in the realm of helping other kids in a targeted segments, and they want to start a similar nonprofit?
Yeah, sure. We found that laws are very important, especially when it comes to children. You know, making sure that we have everything in place in case we do scale to counseling, and having other adults around children. Making sure that we have the right background checks and safety training for those people. The other thing is insurance. You know, because we're going to be working with people, and the accidents are bound to happen. So just making sure our business is insured, so that if anything does happen, that we make sure that the person who gets hurt receives the right care, and that we personally are not held liable.
Right.
It happens while out there, you know, at one of our experiences.
So are there any insurance agents that kind of specialize in social ventures, or did you guys just find a
We're still in the search. The problem with our particular model is, as soon as we say the word aviation, many insurance agents they're like, oh no, that's way too expensive. We don't want to insure that. So we're working through that. We're hoping that one of the fraternities like AOPA or EAA can help with that. They do a lot of like Young Eagle flights, and so we're hoping we can work under one of their umbrellas.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to go, partnering, especially when you're at the beginning, whatever partnerships you can create.
Yes.
Because you can't do it on your own, as you haven't done it on your own. Like, your team is growing, if I'm not mistaken. There's 3 of you now, right?
Yep, there's 3, and we will soon be looking for members for a board. So.
Oh, wow.
Trying our bylaw and everything so that we can start the actual like election of boards. We're really excited about it.
Now, that whole legal process of doing that, I assume you guys already have a lawyer. Did you find a lawyer that also focuses in the world of social entrepreneurship, or do those people even exist?
Oh yeah, they do. And we're lucky that Carrie has friends that are in that industry and have just been able to advise us. I wouldn't say that we have anyone, you know, that is on, you know, that we've had particularly the Milieux Project, just advice getting it. Just there's not been much money to exchanging hands to warrant a lawyer just yet, but I'm sure that there will be a need soon.
All right, so kind of what's next for the Malou Project?
Yeah, we're working. Well, so there's several things that we're kind of working on. One is the 1023 IRS form. 1023 is 28 pages, by the way, to get our 501(c) established. We're also looking at, there's apparently some agencies that offer like your back house accounting for nonprofits while the nonprofit's going through the 501(c) process, where they can hold. We're looking into it. They're able to manage the funds coming in and out, make sure that we're doing everything on the up and up legally with our funds, you know, because everything has to be accounted for. So looking at one of those to maybe work with and see if we can be put under their umbrella, and then continue to work on our own flying camp. You know, in the spring, we're hoping for. We've got some beta tests that you and I have worked on.
Yes.
And talked about. We're also looking at an event in October with the Feature Factory there in Tampa, and then also maybe doing like another beta test here in Jacksonville in October, November, just to see if there is an audience.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you with the beta testing approach. And what I like is that we've been able to find places that are amenable to helping you keep the costs down because they understand you're a startup. I think personally, I think it's just a matter of us helping you hone in the execution that's tailored to the target segments, the audiences of the various places. Because you guys are up in Jacksonville, but you guys are trying to really get going, at least statewide initially. But I know you guys are going to go nationwide. That's the ultimate goal.
Of course.
So I think the beta tests are going to help you guys just execute and figure out how to execute in different places, and that you can't have too much information with regards to how to delight your nonprofit customers, if you will. Go ahead.
One other thing that we're working on is sponsorships too. Happened to receive an email from an old colleague way back in the day when I was flying, and he's a lawyer now, and he was asking me some information for just flying, like flying related bird migratory website, that we used to use all the time. And I was asking what he needed that for. And he told me, well, he was his client. He shared me his name of his client. And I was like, oh, I think that might be somebody who'd be interested in maybe sponsoring me. And so I just sent him like a rough draft of something that we are not ready to solicit for sponsors yet, but why not just send it to somebody to see what he has to say. And he gave great feedback. And it just, and that's another thing I would give to anyone who's on this kind of path is, utilize your network, and take every opportunity. Sometimes, I probably overreach a little bit, but it's all part of it.
Hey, all they can do is say no. But
that's right.
But I think I agree with you, especially military members that are towards the end of their career, no matter where they're getting out what stage you're getting out at their career. I think they underestimate the network that they have outside in civilian land. And I agree with you. You have to leverage that. And I think it's because people feel bad about asking people for help. But there's ways, in my opinion, there's ways to ask people for help without, you're not asking them for money. Yeah. You're just asking them, hey, do you know somebody that can help me with my nonprofit project or whatever project they're working on? I mean, these are people. Establishing your network is very key to your success, as it was within the military. We all had networks up to whatever level we obtained in the military. That's just part of life, is building a network to help you be successful, because none of us can do it on our own. So one thing we did not touch upon is, I am interested in, I'm sure others, is how did you come up with Malou? What does it mean? And I just want to learn more about that.
So, in our development of this, what we're going to call our site and our initiative and whatever, we talked about it. So much stuff now in media and books is all about but focusing on yourself, being better yourself, focusing on you as an individual. And we know that we're not just individuals, right?
Right.
Just like aspen groves, like everything we're an organism, giant organism, and it takes all of us to work together. And changing the whole perspective away from ourselves and back into society, which it's a word, I've seen this word in a few documents and professional papers, Malou, M-I-L-I-E-U, meaning social, your social environment, everything. And so we just put an X on it because it kind of reminded us of aviatrix. It's kind of cool. And also because it's kind of edgy, and trying to figure out whether or not how to come up with the name project. It was just one of those things. We knew we wanted to use the word Malou, and we just needed a noun to pair up to it well. So it's all about the environment, and I think that lends well to flying too, because flying takes you into a whole different Malou. So it plays very different ways.
Very cool. Well, how can people contact you guys?
So we have a website. And hopefully I'll be able to supply you with the banner and picture that you asked for. But if you Google us, the Milieux Project, we are top hits. I don't think there's anybody else. We have a website though. It's https://themilieux.org. You can find us there in our blog there and see what we're doing next.
Absolutely. And if you could spell Malou one more time.
Absolutely. Thank you. MILIEUX.
Very cool. Well, cool. We hope you enjoyed. And if you just hang on 1 second, I'm going to close this out. So to all our followers, listeners, viewers, whatever you are out there, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you know of a local startup or somebody that has a social entrepreneur focus, please connect us because we want to share their story with our community. We also want to hear your thoughts and concerns and feedback about our show. You can contact us at social, SOCIAL, at skywaybound.com, or you can connect with us on Facebook at Skywaybound Presents, the name of the show. Hey, there's my paper, by the way, just in case you guys didn't know. I am cheating. So believe it or not, this program eventually will have a sponsor called Mind My PC. They are in the process of preparing their onslaught of bringing managed services to help the solo entrepreneur and small business owner. And they're going to give you 24/7 services on a budget, if you will. So thanks again for listening. So until next time, as we always say, don't stop pursuing your dreams because the road is long and hard. But we encourage you to do not quit, do not quit, do not quit, because the sky's the limit. I believe in you. You can do it. Have a great day.